Full-time score, Ipswich Town 0, Liverpool 2. Liverpool have gotten the victory in what is the first Premier League game under Arne Slot for the Arne Slot era. And I'm pretty relieved, honestly. I was nervous that, Ipswich Town, a newly promoted side, first time in like 2 decades that they're back in the Premier League, a staple of the Premier League back in the day. They're going to want to turn up. Their fans are going to want to turn up. And they definitely, gave Liverpool a fight. So solid performance from them. Got to tip, my hat off to them, my invisible hat, because they did pretty solid. There was a few moments in the first half where there was a bit of some dicey challenges and such, but regardless, what are you going to do? If you're new to the channel, I cover all things Premier League, mostly Liverpool, but I will be covering other stuff that happens today, the 10 a.m. fixtures that are coming up, Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m., Arsenal, Wolves, Everton, Brighton, etc., etc. I'll cover all those fixtures, and I'll also go and be live for West Ham Aston Villa. By the time you're seeing this, that game will be maybe a couple hours away by the time this goes live, this video. And if you're not there for that, I will be live tomorrow for Chelsea Man City. Big match, that one. Excited as all heck for that. But let's dive into the stats. They're here to the left of me, or if you're viewing on a short, it's above me. But we're going to dive right in with the top stats. Possession, 62% for Liverpool, 38% for Ipswich Town, 2.72 XG with 6 big chances, 4 big chances missed. This Jota header, I pulled up here, if you could see, sticks out. That was one of the biggest chances that Liverpool missed. That just like pops out in my mind. 78% passing accuracy for Ipswich Town to Liverpool's 86%. Liverpool committed actually way more fouls. I didn't even realize that. I mean, first half Ipswich Town was definitely, we were even at 7-7 at one point, and I guess second half we must have just gone crazy. Corners, 10 for Liverpool, 2 to Ipswich Town. Didn't really get much activity on set pieces, Liverpool. A lot of XG from open play. Here's the XG breakdown. 0.1 from set pieces. Ipswich Town getting more XG from set pieces. That's something you're going to want as a club. You want to restrict the amount of open play XG and the amount of non-penalty XG. And just, you don't want any penalty XG either. But point being, Liverpool did pretty well, all things considered, with the XG, with the shots. You see a literal domination here in every category, minus the hit the woodwork one, which no woodworks were hit. So that doesn't even count. That's irrelevant. Passing, also literal domination. That is, if that doesn't paint, a tale to you, I don't know what to tell you. Not the most accurate with the crossing, 17% for Liverpool. Discipline, only 1 yellow card for Ipswich Town, or Liverpool, I should say, 3 for Ipswich Town. They won more duels. They got more tackles. That's probably expected, honestly. Since we did dominate possession, 62% to 38, they're going to have to win the ball more. If you look at the tackle percentages, though, 44% to 50% isn't really that far off. So not too bad. I want to look at the squads real quick, the lineups, kind of talk about everyone here. You can't see Walton. He played, I think, decent. He got a 5.8. I don't know if that's entirely fair. Leif Davis, I think, played pretty solid. Omari Hutchinson was really good. Nwongo was threatening as well. He was pretty robust for them in midfield. But I really want to focus on Liverpool over here. Alisson Becker, we're going to start with him and work up the squad and look at the subs as well. He played really solid, I think. Didn't really do much. We look at his stats, only 2 saves. Pretty accurate with passing, though, 85%, 40% on the long balls, which, could be better, but fair, not too bad at all. That's just something that I think is going to happen in a game like this, where as a, if you're if you're Liverpool, you're not necessarily going to be looking for the long ball every time with Alisson because you are in possession more often than not. Robertson, decent as well. He got subbed off in the 79th minute. That is a kind of testament and focus of Arne Slot, is this protection of his players in terms of their physical fitness and whether or not they're healthy or not. And I think a large part of that will come down to stuff like this, like subbing off Robertson with 11 minutes to go, which ended up being 19 minutes to go. Subbing off Quansah with 46 minutes. Well, not 46 minutes, at the half, really. I know I skipped over Virgil, but we'll get back to Virg. But Quansah was subbed off at halftime. Konate came in. I think the idea there is like you two both are probably, and I don't know if it was a tactical or a fitness thing. I didn't get any confirmation on that. But for me, it seemed like he was trying to like just preserve fitness. You know, he subbed off Trent in the 77th minute, Jota in the 79th. There was like a bit of moving around of some pieces, and you know, I think Quansah played fine, so I was like a little shocked when he got subbed off. But all things considered, Konate came in, he did his thing. We'll talk about him later. Virgil, let's see his passing, 94% accuracy with the passing. Really, really solid from Virgil. 75% aerial duels won 3 out of 4. Couldn't ask for a better performance from the captain besides like a goal, but that is like, you're not expecting Virgil to score. When he does, it's a pleasant surprise. But Quansah, as I stated, played really well for the half he played in. We'll move on to Trent, though. Lots of concerns in my chat with whether or not Trent will extend. I want him to extend. I want him to get like a lifetime contract if we could sign him up for that, and if he was willing to. Trent, though, accuracy on the long balls wasn't the best, 38%. Accuracy on the crosses wasn't the best. Let's see the actual passing, just raw passing stats. Where are they? Oh, yeah. 70% accuracy with the passing. He was pretty instrumental in that. Was it the first goal? Yeah, the first goal that ended up going like that Trent pass to Salah on the wing. Salah picked it up, and then it was basically just Jota in the box that could score a tap in, and Salah played it across the face of goal, scoring, assisting in what was a pretty clean goal. They almost scored a very identical goal right after that, but Trent did really well. McAllister, there was a couple moments where I feel like the whole squad was trying to generally get a grip on the play style, and it was like a uniform like lack of cohesion. But as the game progressed, I feel like for McAllister and for everyone else, people became more comfortable. McAllister was really accurate with his passing, 86%. He didn't get any assists or anything, but McAllister has shown he can kind of play this more, utility role that isn't necessarily like going to be pushed far up the pitch, even though I think I would like to see him pushed up farther up the pitch. Gravenberch, really, really, really solid game. He isn't the man of the match for me. Because there's someone later that you'll probably see that has performed really well that I think deserves some kind of shouts. But he was really good. 5 out of 11 ground duels won is huge. He had a lot of touches, 67. Pretty accurate with the passing at 86%. And he had a first half pass to Mo Salah that nearly connected and would have been one of the craziest passes of the whole like weekend, I imagine, maybe the season. That was like just like in terms of like what I wasn't expecting. Like it was so sudden, and he's really starting to click. There were some really clean passes, and I think he's gonna carve out an entire role at Liverpool because he's just fantastic. Lucho played really well. There was a few moments where he got in positions where I thought he could score, didn't convert, but needless to say, he's important. It seems to me that it's clear to everyone as to why he is so important. He is just such a force down the left wing. He wins duels as well, aerially and on the ground. Fouls a bit, but what are you going to do? He was really instrumental in kind of just keeping that pace for us. Szoboszlai played really well. I think he had a couple of turns. There was a pass for Salah's goal, which didn't count as an assist because it took a deflection, one or two actually, I think. But he played really well. His pass accuracy was 39. He had 91% pass accuracy. That might be one of the highest in the squad. He was really good. He had a couple of shots that got blocked, but I like him in this 10 role. I want to keep him there if that is the plan moving forward. And I like this kind of midfield 3 we got going. I'll be interested to see how it takes shape if Nunez or Gakpo come in. Obviously, Salah, man of the match on FootMob, man of the match for me. Let me know if he's your man of the match, because who else would it be? Mo Salah, the Egyptian king, 9 consecutive Premier League seasons that start, like opening game for Liverpool and Mo Salah, and he scores in it. That is the stuff of legends. Literal stuff of legends, record breaking. I think Lampard was there at 8 and Rooney was maybe there at 8. That's insane. That's just insane from Mo. A goal and an assist, 4 total shots. What was his XG? I can't seem to find it. We'll find it later. 0.75. Expected goals on target, 1.09. Big chances missed. They say 1. Trying to remember it. Can't remember off the top of my head. But Mo Salah, he was fantastic. He was simply sublime. There was some moments where, the whole squad wasn't clicking. And eventually when we did click, Mo was there. And you got to love that. Very, very happy about that. Jota, can't forget about Diogo Jota. He got a goal as well. Very important goal. The first goal of the Arne Slot era. 79 minutes played. His XG was 0.87. He had a header that just went wide that I mentioned earlier in the video that I thought he was going to score because he's so good aerially, but things happen. And yeah, so those are the starters. Quickly talk about everyone on the bench. Ibrahim Konate came in at halftime. He did really, really well. I was impressed by just like him quickly slotting in the sense that I was nervous there would be maybe a bit of a, shakiness of just quickly rotating a center back option. Obviously, Konate and Virgil are like this, way closer than Quansah and Virgil. So in my mind, I should be totally like fine with that. But when I see a center back coming on at halftime, I get nervous in the moment as like a fool on the internet who watches these games and is rooting for my club to win every game. Because I'm just like, okay, so like, is it an injury? Is it like a tactical thing? But regardless, Konate did great. I think it was probably just to preserve fitness. If I were to guess, that might be the most rational explanation, just because like you don't want to risk Quansah. We don't have a lot of center backs anyways. If he's already kind of tired going into the game, he played him in the half and it was kind of intense. Make that change. And he did. Connor Bradley came in the 77th minute. He played very well, Connor Bradley. There was a few moments where he was connecting with Salah and Szoboszlai down the right-hand side, and it was really nice to see. Stasimikas and Cody Gakpo, they came in at the 79th minute, both of them. Costas had a few passes that were decent, a few crosses to the back post towards Salah that possibly could have worked. One was like a Mo Salah handball that ended up just turning into a free kick for Ipswich. But regardless, I think he did decent in his limited time. Gakpo didn't do a lot either. He did fine as well. They just needed to come in to get, I think, some rotation, some legs. And by then, Liverpool were up 2-0. They weren't really looking to add a third. And if they were, it wasn't going to be a really labored third. It was going to be a very kind of like, oh, this just kind of fell to us and we scored a third. But those are my thoughts on the first game of the Arne Slot era, the first game of Liverpool's Premier League season for the 24-25 campaign. A big kind of bit of validation, I think, for Liverpool fans for Arne Slot. Obviously, Ipswich Town just newly promoted. No offense to them, but we got to see how this philosophy, these tactics, and this lineup holds up in a more kind of polished, against a more polished side, I should say. Manchester United's coming up. That'll be the first big test. Brentford's coming up before that, but that's at home, so that will be maybe a bit easier just because we're playing at Anfield. But as always, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, like the video if you enjoyed, and comment down below with your thoughts on game week 1 for Liverpool, Ipswich Town versus Liverpool. Full-time score, Ipswich Town 0, Liverpool 2. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for joining me on Sideline. Sedo. Peace.